Hey guys, I am coming to you from behind the sunken garden in phase 2 of Sir Walter Raleigh. There's the little arched doorway. So I'm going to turn around and we are going to talk about Juniperus virginiana or eastern red cedar. Red cedar being all one word. So this plant, we're not going to focus on a lot of leaf details other than to say it is scale-like foliage. Hopefully you can focus on that and see that scale-like foliage. It is a tree. It is a conifer and evergreen. Height is considered large. In youth, it's most definitively pyramidal. It can vary in maturity. This one is a little shaded here, but it's still very pyramidal. This is another specimen to my left, still very pyramidal. But it can vary. It can be almost columnar, straight up and down, to very broad pyramidal. Soil preferences. These guys will tolerate very poor soils. Not really picky about moisture. To maintain a more dense specimen, you can hedge shear these guys. Growth rate is considered average. Exposure to light, sun is preferred. I dare say these are probably a little thin because of their shady exposure here. Climactic hardiness zones are 3 to 9. Flowers are considered insignificant. Fruit can be profuse. They are bluish cones. You see these guys? They're little, but that bluish tech color can give them some great impact. So that is the fruit. They're 1/4 of an inch. I would say they're not edible, although I believe that gin is made out of juniper berries. Don't hold me to that. Autumn color, these can turn kind of bronze in winter. So most often we think about autumn color as being an attribute of deciduous plants. But some of our conifers, while their foliage does persist, it takes on a different hue during the winter months. So these can kind of turn an orangey bronze. Leaf texture is considered medium. The bark is exfoliating in long strips. So let's walk around over here. Do you see how it's very longitudinal? It is kind of flaky, so there can be long strips that peel off of this bark. I find it more dramatic in older specimens than young. This one's probably middle-aged, so it's not quite to the extreme exfoliation yet. No notable cultivars for our purposes. Pests and diseases. These are susceptible to cedar apple rust, which is a fungal disease, and bagworms. Bagworms are a pesky insect that can really defoliate a conifer pretty quickly if you get a heavy infestation. Is a North Carolina native. It is U.S. native. It is not invasive. I found no reference to salt tolerance. Although this plant, you'll find it everywhere. It's notorious for being found along fence lines because the seed love to pass through the digestive tract of birds and be deposited along fence lines. So red cedars are everywhere. They are dioecious, so there are male and female plants. So it's important to know that. Dur, page 595. And like I said, I'm outside of phase 2 or 3, depending on how you look at it, of Sir Walter Raleigh Garden. Thanks, guys.